This last semifinal. Take it away, Shocks and crew.
Thank you very much, Pyra. I can't believe they are that calm in the interview after what just happened. Absolutely mind-boggling. Break it down for us, Dentist. The Gnar pick, was that the secret ingredient here? What happened?
No, the secret ingredient was that they just didn't fight in the mid-game. They had a clear late-game orientated composition. The Caitlyn scales better than the Corki. The Orianna scales incredible into the late game. They just had to be patient in the mid-game and not fight too much. They did it. They stalled out the game. They went to the deciding team fights when it got important. And then that clutch Orianna Baron steal. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what? If you have anything to say, all I'm going to say is I love the fact they adapt to the early pressure coming from Svensson. Was he needed Lee Sin, Rek'Sai? It would have been a massive, massive amount of pressure from him alone. He couldn't make the same plays, and that was obviously a big deal in this game here. But just the fact that Unicorns adapt to it. Because in Game 2 and Game 4, the reason they lost was because they took these early fights. And they didn't do it in the last game, as you said, Dentist.
All right, Trevor, your opinion on the series in general?
Unicorns are trying to kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, Unicorns versus Fnatic 2 weeks ago was ridiculous. Unicorns last week was super exciting against Gambit. I don't know what it is about this team. I mean, maybe it's because they pick silly fights sometimes, but like they put on such an exciting show, and I'm at a loss for words.
Flabbergasted. Yeah, I'd like to echo what the Fisher said, maybe throw it through Leviathan, how telling it is for the Unicorns of Love versus you guys. We say, my God, adapting in a best of 5 in terms of picks and bans, genius. But adapting in terms of the way you approach a mid-level and a macro level of a game, that is even bigger improvement, or not?
Yeah, that's one of the things we're saying about SK. Maybe SK would have to be able to adapt on the fly to Unicorns, but the Unicorns are the ones that were adapting on the fly to SK. SK was having a lot of success in the late early game or the early mid-game fights, and the Unicorns Love identified, hey, you know, maybe we shouldn't be taking these fights, try to drag the game out to late game. The Caitlyn, who's supposed to be a lane bully for the Corki, fell behind, and so there wasn't that really that factor involved. So they just took the game to late, avoided the mid-game skirmishes, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, especially when they go into late game, they have a Zed, and that Zed wants to split push. They try to do it, they got a Baron in the very late game for it, but the team fighting was obviously weak. Zed was all alone in 5 Unicorns with an exhaust on him. That guy is not going to do anything. And then, of course, 90% crit, double Phantom Dance of Vortex. That guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
It really is. And just very quick note, at about, was it 15, 16 minutes on the clock, Hylissang had a 3-man Tibbers engage, Kikis had a 3-man Gnar into the wall. That was the first sign that this team comp was going to team fight well. It just took another 35 minutes for them to get to the point they could.
Yeah. I like that you bring up Hylissang because there was a lot of genius play throughout the entire series, 5 games worth of it, and a lot of people stepping up. But for us, stepping up like he did in the quarterfinals, and I think because of that, Hylissang is our MVP of this best of 5. It was a hard choice because up to game 5, you want to say Lee Sin from Svenska and absolutely carrying it,
yeah.
Fox stepping up. But I think you guys can all agree that Hylissang, because you do it 2 series in a row as well, Fisher.
Yeah, it's the fact that in the lane, Vardax will fall behind in CS nearly every time, and he still stays relevant in the game because of Hylissang. Because Hylissang is setting our players. I mean, look at the replays we have here. It's just Hylissang hooking in people, serving Vardax, everything, making sure he's fed in the games. And that's so important because they play these late game setups where if your AD carry starts falling behind and takes 50 minutes to get to a point where he's useful, like the Caitlyn in this situation here, in most cases you will lose before you get to that point. But now it worked for them.
Yeah, Hylissang just proves that you don't have to be a carry to carry games. That guy, it was just amazing. Hitting hooks left and right, hitting bindings left and right. He was just perfectly played. And even when he got the 2 champions he's most comfortable of taking away from him, he was clutch with the Annie. He stepped up in the playoffs. That's everything you need to do as a player. Perfect play, deserved MVP.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And well, in this best of 5, we've seen everything great. Hooks, great Annie stuns, great Lee Sin kicks, great everything. But you guys on Twitter, you called out the clutch moment and you picked something else. Our tweet is from @WillowRyan95. At the Svensker, and he actually tweeted, he must be feeling a shock and a wave of regret for missing that Baron. This is your LCS big play of the day.
If a good shockwave hits, I think that might be the only way. Freddy, Dragon's Descent into the river. Baron will be secured.
No
it's
way!
stolen! It is stolen! Power of Evil has kept Unicorns in the semi-finals.
Ow, Trevor, that is quite loud. They are trying to kill you. I can agree.
The thing I don't understand is how they stole it. Like, Freddy got bullied out of the lane. He was trying to zone everybody. I mean, he had that second smite. If you're going to go for Baron, play smart, play safe, stack your burst.
It was down to like 170 HP before the Shockwave came in. There was so much time for the smite. Despite that play from Svensker and obviously being a misplay, him in this series here was absolutely insane. Like, that was the best Lee Sin I've seen in Europe since Diamond Prox back in Season 2. He was the main carry for them whenever they won. Also deserved the ban in the last game.
Yep.
His Rek'Sai, it's not like his Rek'Sai were bad or anything. It was just his team simply couldn't close out the game now because Unicorns adapted.
You could make an entire highlight reel from Game 2 and Game 4 of just Svensker and Lee Sin. And during Game 4, I actually buzzed production and said, find a tweet for the Lee Sin Lantern follow Q that led to double kill, because I was like, that is just awesome, and it is the reason SK was still alive in the series. But you can only carry so much weight. Somebody has to help you to get over the final hurdle.
Like, how can you predict that Orianna... What do you think? Did he come in, did he say, I'm going to steal this Baron, or did he say, I'm going to pull in one person, maybe two, delay it a little bit?
Heck yes, that guy's power of evil.
All right.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
If you check the replay, like he started the Shockwave at like 1100, so I guess he's trying to get in that point where the smite comes in and he leaves it with that tiny bit of health. And yeah, no, that Shockwave, the timing on that is exactly to steal.
I mean, if you can be in that mindset and think that, then...
you deserve to be in the final.
You absolutely do. And glad you mentioned it. With the semifinals on the books, we can finally fill in our playoff bracket here for the European playoffs. The Unicorns of Love will advance to the finals, where they will face Fnatic and SK Gaming after that series, dropping down to the third place match, where they will face H2K. Tickets are still available for the final and the third and fourth place match to check it out in person. And it's also implications for the championship points if we look later in the season.
Yeah, and of course, you've got to remember that the winners are playing for at least 70 points, right? If they lose the final, they take home 70. They win, they take home 90. The third, fourth place, you're playing for 50 or 30. And Dentist, I've been quoting you all weekend because you have a fantastic, fantastic way of explaining it. If you win the summer split, you get in. If you're the best team all year, you get in. And if you're the best team on the patch, you get in. It's not my idea, thank you. You served that up on a silver platter.
It's idea.
Yeah.
There we go.
You just said it so eloquently.
Yeah, very good. There's just 1 week left in the LCS playoffs, and the stage is set for our spring finals in Madrid, Spain at the Palacio Vistalegre. The action kicks off with the third place match between H2K and SK Gaming on Saturday, April 18th, while the finals between Fnatic and the Unicorns of Love will get underway on Sunday, the 19th. This matchup in the final, wow. I mean, in terms of aggressivity, I would have said before this best of 5 it would be the most explosive, but maybe the Unicorns of Love think, hey, we can play it the other way.
Fnatic are going to be making a submission to Riot Games and the Live Balance team. Can you please buff the Nexus? The last time these two teams met, the Nexus armor was the deciding factor, and I'm sure Fnatic will have something to say about that.
Dentist, your read the final.
Absolutely.
Like,
you can't really read that final. Like, if you look at the games we had yesterday, Fnatic was looking really good in the last two matches. Game 4 and 5 was just looking superior as a team in terms of strategy, adaptation, and everything else. This series today, it was wild, it was crazy, but if there's a team that can take Fnatic and make them play their game, it's Unicorns.
Yeah, like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to predict the final of the Unicorn series, because these guys are so crazy. Their picks are awesome, their style of play is reckless, and if I had to predict a winner between the Fnatic Unicorns match, I want to lean...
It's the audience.
Yeah, the audience, of course. It's going to be the most enjoyable series. Two aggressive teams, and I can't wait.
Yeah, the Fisho.
Well, I mean, looking at the games today from the Unicorns of Love, they showed, as long as they play like in Game 5, some of it, in terms of not fighting early on, they can be okay against Fnatic. The problem is if they make any mistakes in the early to mid-game, Fnatic is going to roll right over them like they did against H2K, who's a lot better in that stage of the game than the Unicorns. So I think it's a risky one, but because Unicorns seem to pull off these weird things, the underdog story and everything, we can never say never. Fnatic will be the favorites, though. All
right, Fnatic will be the favorites. I just have to mention it on PTL. I said that Unicorns of Love would win as well with Fnatic. So props to me. Anyway, well, anyway, we're very excited to see you two guys in the finals as well. I think we can announce that. Must be exciting. You guys did a great job. You were praising Riot all along, so you get to go to Madrid as well.
Nice.
And of course, if you guys at home, you can't make it to Madrid, we'll be bringing you our final coverage of the game starting on the 18th of April at 5 p.m. Central European Time. That is 8 a.m. Pacific. Whew. That is all from us here today here in Berlin. Stay tuned because the North American LCS is about to take over with their last semi-final match between #1 Team Solo Mid and Team Impulse. People, you know, they're getting there. They're getting there. I think we're going to see another 5 games. I'm just going to call it. It's going to be a perfect semi-final weekend. Before we hand it over, though, to the North American team to get things underway, let's take a look back at today's action.